from Music City, Nashville, Tennessee, this is your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, keenly awaited, highly anticipated edition of becoming independently wealthy through social media. What an exciting advent that would be. Friends from around the world, how are each and every one of you doing on this brilliant and delicious night? Type in a 1 in the chat pane if you can hear me okay, and I'm pretty sure all of you can figure out that chat pane pretty easily. Getting some ones from Lee, how fantastic, wonderful, wonderful. So to keep just a reminder out there, March is Kids Month at company Real Life Trading. Every single March, I do my absolute best to teach kids, children, young adults, teenagers from all around the world what the stock market is and how to safely and properly invest in it. And also I like to teach some other subjects, and then tonight we're going to be discussing a little bit about social media, what you can do, what you want to focus on, and hopefully answer some questions that you all might be having. Lee says it's Vaughn and Victor, Lee's sons. Fantastic. So Vaughn, Victor, thanks for being here, guys. I appreciate it. Linda, how are you? Matthew and Sophia, welcome. Abigail, what's going on, Abigail? Abigail and Nate Linderman, I love it. Appreciate you being here as well. That means Justin Linderman's over there somewhere. Nathan, what's going on, Nate? How are you? Anyone who else is watching this, if you're watching this in recording, thanks so much for being here. I hope I get a chance to answer any of your questions. And keep in mind, this is going to be a judgment-free zone. So if you have any questions at all about social media or about investing or about trading, let me know, and I'll do my absolute best to help. So let's do a quick poll. The poll is going to be, which social media do you use the most? I'm actually going to throw that poll here in the chat pane. So you should get a screen that popped up on your, a box that popped up on your screen right there. It's actually interactive. If you're there at home watching this on YouTube or anywhere else, go ahead and click and you can post in the comment section below, which social media do you use the most? I'll keep this open for about 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow. So here's the results. This is some interesting results. 83% of you who are here now, at least, use YouTube the most. And we have 17% using Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Tumblr, Reddit, Twitter, and some other ones are blank, which is totally fine. But that is an interesting thing. YouTube, great social media. Also a really incredible place to interact with people, learn new things. It's a phenomenal platform, at least in my particular opinion. I use YouTube. That's the one that I use the most as well. So here's a quick question then. What is the point of social media? If I were to ask you that, if I said, what would you use social media for? What is your goal with it? What do you try to accomplish with it? What's the point of it? Right? Is it to simply share posts and memes where you want to post funny stuff? Is it to post videos of your weekend trips? Is it to share your opinions and thoughts? Is it to keep up with friends? And obviously the answer is it could be all of those things. You can do all of that on social media. But what we're discussing today is not going to be just using social media, but how you can use this revolutionary tool that's really only been around for about 10 years that opens you up to the opportunities and the possibilities of creating an income, creating wealth, and being able to stay there for the long haul. So Victor, Vaughn, I'm going to be relying on you guys a lot tonight, asking some questions, and you can help me along as well, because also my other goal is I'd love to teach anyone here something new, but I'm also expecting to learn something new from some people who are in the audience. Now, the social media aspect, obviously all of these things can be done on social media, whatever social media it is, if it's YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So while all of that can be accomplished, I want to share one additional step. If you plan on using, and obviously you are using now, social media of any kind, whatever the platform is, one of the most significant things that you can do is add value. And we're going to explain what that value is. We're going to pull up a whiteboard in a second. I'm going to kind of draw one. I'm going to ask you some questions as well. But adding value is one of the most helpful things you can do on social media, especially if you want to become wealthy doing it. And we're going to talk a little bit about that right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share actually the whiteboard, and the whiteboard's going to pop up. Here we go. I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to bring this over here. And now it's just a big whiteboard. I'm going to kind of draw on this, and I think you guys should be able to see the whiteboard. Let me resume sharing. All right, there we go. Perfect. So adding value. The most interesting thing about adding value is the ability to add it into a small, pinpoint, focused group area of people and of interest. There's something out there, it depends on how you pronounce it, and I don't know if I'm spelling this right, but it's pronounced niche or niche. Probably didn't spell that right. But this is a very small, select group of people that have a certain interest. If you want to become independently wealthy using social media, what you're going to absolutely have to do is find a group of people that have a very specific interest in something. Now, the cool part about social media is that that specific interest in something can literally be anything in the world. Anything. So it could be robotics. It could be playing the violin. It could be cat videos. It could be how to fish, fishing better, fishing. It could be wrestling. Slime. It could be about slime. Sure. Minecraft. Absolutely. It could be about Minecraft. It could be, I'm trying to think of some other just very, very, very specific. Pillow making. Food. Yeah, it could be food. And food's actually a really big subject. It could be very small food, fried food, right? It can be anything that you want it to be. Now, here's what's really exciting when it comes to social media. One of the best ways to figure out what interest you want to approach is you're going to have to figure out what are you really good at? What are you really good at? What's something that you know a lot about? And again, that list can be anything, whatever it is. But if you can match what you're really good at with a specific interest, right? A very specific interest. So Vaughn and Victor are saying Legos. Legos is a very specific interest. Absolutely. And I'll use that example of Legos in just a few seconds, actually, to talk about a company that I found. There's a guy out there. He's one of 11, I believe. And I'm going to do a Google search in just a bit. But he is one of 7, I think, professional Lego builders. Professional, I'm going to go ahead and Google it. I'm going to bring it up over here and I'm going to share that with you guys in a second. Professional Lego builder in the UK. This is a fantastic story. And this is a great example, a wonderful example, Victor and Vaughn, of this. He's the only. Oh, okay. He's Britain's only certified. All right, so let me share the screen with you guys really quick. Oops, got it. All right. So here's the screen. So this was a video that I found on social media, on Facebook. And this is Britain's only certified Lego builder who sells some of his creations for thousands of pounds, tens of thousands of pounds. I have an inside. I do have a blocker on it. Can't figure out a way to turn that off.
I started off.
I do have an ad blocker
from
on.
Garden Shed on my own, just building it as
I don't want to turn it off though. Well, I can go back and Google something else. I like having ad blockers on. I don't want a bunch of ads popping up. So if I just click on YouTube really quick, so here's YouTube. So this is the same video. So talking about YouTube being our favorite, social media. This is certainly my favorite. This is the one I spend the most time on for sure. So just talking about Legos. I mean, that really was a phenomenal example, Victor Vaughn. I appreciate that. So this guy gets paid tens of thousands of dollars, and literally what he does is he makes something out of Legos. Now, what happens is when you have an interest and you have something that you're very, very good at, you should pursue it by all means. And it can be something small, that you might not think is interesting, right? It could be like building mailboxes or creating bird homes, or like I mentioned, playing Minecraft. That's massively popular. Playing video games, obviously, very, very popular way right now to create income on Twitch. So you have to pursue your passion, but at some point you do have to add value, right? So this guy, when he's creating his Legos, he's not sitting in his house building his Legos and just letting them sit there on his living room floor. He's taking those Legos and selling them to some company, right? Therefore, adding value. So type in a 1 if you here want to make a lot of money. Obviously, there should be a lot of 1s. Yeah, everyone wants to make a lot of money. Here's a formula that is a very simple and easy formula as it comes to anything in the world. Doesn't matter what it is, this is a formula that will last forever. Money equals value. Meaning, if you, as a human, want more money, and let's be honest, everyone here does. I got a lot of 1s typed in, so everyone here wants more money. Most people go to school, then they go to college so that they can get a job, and that job will give them money, right? Well, if you add value, if you increase your value, you will make more money. It's a very, very simple formula. You have to increase your value. So here's a question I want to ask you all who are here. How do you increase your value? What would your answer be? And again, it's no judgment zone, judgment-free zone. There's no right or wrong answer here, truly. How do you increase your value? So Victor and Vaughn is a great answer. So Victor and Vaughn said they're being better at things. That's so true. That is so true. I mean, that is, boom, there you go. That's really the answer. If you want to increase your value, you need to become better at something. You got to be better at things, whatever that might be. You got to continually get better. So that could be by reading something about your interest. That could be about studying. That could be practicing. If you want to become the best cello player in the world, for example, you're going to have to practice that cello a lot. But if you go to a concert and you are one of the best players in the world, you're going to make more money. Noor brings up a very good point. Noor says you can make something memorable or unique. Absolutely. That would make your value increase because people will pay very good money for something memorable or unique. So remember, money is just value. So when people buy something, they're exchanging their money for value. And if you want more money, you just simply have to increase your value. It really is that simple. And so when it comes to social media, one of the best ways to increase your value is, number 1, learn or know a lot about something very specific. And the answer here would be Legos. So that guy, that video that we just typed in, he's the only dude in the United Kingdom. So there's millions and millions of people in the United Kingdom. He's the only guy who is a certified Lego builder in the entire country. That is something very specific. So he really drilled down, got good at building Legos, he likes Legos, and he learned and became very good about something very specific. So if there are some young adults here, type in a 1 if you've ever played Minecraft. All right, obviously bunches of 1s, right? Minecraft quickly became one of the most popular games. And I'm sure a lot of you know some YouTube celebrities or some YouTube personalities who literally all they do is play Minecraft. They record themselves playing Minecraft and they do what with it? They share it with other people, therefore adding value. And not only do they do that, but they also create videos with tips and tricks, right? They show you things that you can do to improve your base or to improve your character or to improve whatever you do in Minecraft. They give you ideas, they give you funny jokes, they give you suggestions. They are entertaining. So value can be as something as easy as entertainment. It doesn't have to be something beautifully created or handcrafted like the Sistine Chapel by Michelangelo. It doesn't have to be a work of art. It can just simply be entertainment. People who are actors, right, in Hollywood, they do one thing very, very well. They are acting. And when they do that, they get paid for it, right? So you're going to want to become very knowledgeable about a specific subject. Even if you love playing video games, you can make a lot of money playing video games. I've been discussing that all month long with children and young adults and kids from all over the world. There's something called Twitch out there. Type in a 1 if you guys have ever heard of Twitch. So Twitch is a streaming online service that you don't have to play just video games, but it's streaming and people pay to watch whatever you're streaming. And they have very specific community guidelines. I don't know what those guidelines are, but they do protect. I'm hoping they protect their users, those people who are streaming, and also the people that are watching from something that they might not want to watch or view. But then you also have companies like Patreon, which people pay to listen or watch or whatever it might be. Right? There's plenty of websites out there that people want to give you money for your value if it's entertainment on whatever subject. So remember, if it's an entertaining subject, it can be a very specific subject as well. Whatever that subject can be. Again, you can have weightlifting. I mean, on Twitch, there's a guy who people pay him to watch him lift weights. As crazy as that sounds, right? That exists. There's a lot of things, and there's a lot of very creative actors and creative minds and people on this particular internet program, Twitch, that are just simply funny, right? They're good characters. So they get paid by numerous ways. I mean, the people that can subscribe to their channel, they can oftentimes simply make donations like, hey, thank you for what you're doing. So what I want to talk about is I want to discuss something called the law of large numbers. The law of large numbers is something that I really want you to study from here on out, because this is the cool, exceptional part about how you can make a lot of money through social media. What you have to do, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is the step right here, is you have to build a large crowd. You have to build a large crowd, a group, a gathering, often known in marketing world, I didn't spell gathering right, also known in marketing world as a list, leads, customers. You have to build a large group of people that care about whatever it is that you can care about. It can be a specific sports team, right? It can be anything that you want it to be. It doesn't matter. So we can talk about ideas all night, but it can be something very, very specific. I have a buddy who loves the soccer team Arsenal. And I told him, what you should do, man, is you should make a podcast or a radio station or a video or a Facebook page just about Arsenal fans who live in your city. And it could also obviously is not a huge number, but I'm going to give you guys a number that might shock you, and I hope it does. You ready for this? 10,000. What is that number? That is the number of fans, followers, friends, customers, likes, whatever it is. 10,000 is the magic number. If you can get to 10,000 people that are interested in your entertainment, that are interested in your information, that are interested in your value, you should never have to work for anyone ever again. What? Yep, that's correct. 10,000. That's the magic number. That is the number that if you can get there, you don't have to work for anyone ever again. If you don't want to. So if you want to, that's fine. But if you want to be independently wealthy, if you want to work for yourself, if you want to create something, 10,000 is all you need. That is the mark. Now, granted, it is not easy to get there, but once you get there, it is very valuable. So there's only two ways to get to that number. Literally only two. You either have to have a lot of time or you have to have a lot of money. If you have money, you can go buy 10,000 people, you can go buy their information, and you can sell to them. It's called marketing. And that happens all the time. All the time. So I'm going to give you an example. Victor, you still there? Type in a 1 if you're still there in the chat pane. I know Nora, I appreciate you being there. So Victor, thanks man, appreciate it. So Victor, I'm going to just give you an idea. Let's pretend that you had 10,000 friends. 10,000 friends that you knew very well and you grew up with them. You swap stories and information, very often. You have 10,000 people that like you a lot. You're an influencer. And what happens is you find out that I sell hamburgers, as an example. All right, I sell hamburgers. And you go, hey man, I have 10,000 people that they eat food, and so you have hamburgers. So how much do you want to pay me to advertise to my 10,000 friends so that they might buy your hamburgers? And that person's going to say, well, I charge, whatever it is, $5 per hamburger. So I will give you $100, right? And if they give you $100 and 20 people from your 10,000 list buy their hamburger, that 21st person, they're now making money. And that's a transaction that happens on the internet all the time. All the time. I'll give you another example. This happens to me on a frequent basis. So as you all might know, I teach the stock market. And in the stock market, I can easily come up with a course, whatever that course might be, doesn't really matter. I can come up with a course that would sell for $395. So if Victor had a group of 10,000 people, and those 10,000 people were all interested in something stock market related, right? So let's say, Victor, you had 10,000 people who loved Snapchat, the company. They love Snapchat. Like all those 10,000 people are just huge Snapchat fans. They love the company. I would pay you money to market to your 10,000 people. How much money depends on what type of program we're building, right? What type of marketing. But that is what's referred to as external marketing, or marketing the list, or selling your list, or selling your information, or selling your data. Facebook does this all the time. That's why Facebook is worth so much money. And we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. Well, we can actually just talk about it now. So Facebook, they have 2.3 billion monthly active users. 2.13 billion. So remember how I said $10,000 or 10,000 people is all you need? The reason that Facebook is worth so much money is they are a living, breathing example of this. They got 2.3 billion people, right? 2.3 billion people in one particular spot. And now what happens is marketers, other people, pay Facebook to send them information. And if Facebook can send them information and these people buy, right? Let's say I create a product that I got every single person to pay 1 penny for. If I create some type of product where I could get every single person on Facebook to buy my 1 penny product, how much money is that? Do you guys know? $230 million. Either 230 or 20 million. Either way, it's a lot of money. It's 20. 23 million. $23 million is 1% of 2.1 billion. Well, let's say 2.3 billion. 23 million, isn't that crazy? So when we're talking about the law of large numbers, right? Now, this is just how many people are on Facebook. So let's just use that example. 2.13 billion. So let's say that you didn't have to get everyone on Facebook. Let's say that you attracted only 0.01% of that number. 0.01% of 2.13 billion. So let's do the quick math really quick. So I'm going to just draw it out so we can also do a quick learning experience. So 2.13 billion looks like 130,000,000,000. So that's $2.13 billion. Okay? So if you move the comma, 1, 2, that's 1%. This is 0.1%, and this is 0.01%. So we have 0.00312. 213,000 people. So all you have to do is attract 0.01%. 0.01, that is such a small number. 0.01%, and there are 213,000 people. Now these 213,000 people are roughly, according to the law of large numbers, there is always 0.01% of any crowd interested in something. Whatever that is. Literally anything. Everyone is interested in something. So give me something really random. What would be something that someone would be very randomly interested in? I'll let you guys tell me. Something just totally off the wall, weird, strange, unique. Sushi. Alright, so let's take it one step farther. Not only sushi, but sushi in San Diego, California. And let's not only do that, but let's do sushi in San Diego, California on Tuesdays. Okay, that's very specific, right? So what that means is there is probably 213,000 people in San Diego that eat sushi on Tuesdays. That's what the law of large numbers means, that there's about 213,000 people interested in just about anything. If you get a big enough crowd. All right, it depends, 0.01%. There's 0.01% of people interested in anything. So what that means, yeah, I know, that's crazy, right? So what that means is if you wanted, and let's say you were selling something. It doesn't really matter what you're selling. It's really pretty much irrelevant. Let's say that you were selling an ebook. Knowledge of some kind. Knowledge. An ebook of knowledge. Maybe it was about Minecraft. Maybe it's about computers. Maybe it's about motorcycles. Maybe it's about cars. Maybe it's about paintball guns. Maybe it's about Aerosoft. Maybe it's about FedEx trucks. Maybe it's about John Deere. Maybe it's about corn or farming or agriculture or soybeans or maybe it's about skincare products or hair care products or scissors. It's literally anything, whatever you want it to be. You create an ebook that sells knowledge, and when people buy or sign up for that, you start building your list. And when you start building your list, you start providing them with more value, whatever that value is. It can be anything. And when you provide them that value, right? If you have a list of 10,000, the law of large numbers says 1% of your list, 1% of the people that follow you will do so, and they will buy anything that you sell. Now, a lot of marketers use this to their advantage, but if you can build a list of 10,000 people and you sell them anything, it can be an experience, it can be a drink, it can be a food, it can be a receipt, it can be anything. 1% of that list will pay that, whatever you're selling. So if you're selling $295 product to whatever it is, XYZ, right? A bouncy ball. No one's going to pay $295 for a bouncy ball, but you know what I'm saying. If you're going to sell something for $295 and you have a 10,000 person list and 1% of these people will buy, that's 100 people at $295. That is $29,500, my friends. $29,500 every way you cut it. That's how much that is. 100 people at a $295. And so what you're doing is your wheels are probably spinning in your head. What if you can increase this 1%? Right? What if instead of only 1% of the people buy from you, what if 2% of the people buy from you? Well, instead of maybe 10,000 people, what if you had 12,000 people? And instead of what is $295, what if it was more of an expensive product? Right? So it can be anything. And that's what marketers do. But the good news is, with the way the world is now, I'm sure you have all seen Instagram. We all know what Instagram is. There are animals, ladies and gentlemen. There are animals on Instagram, dogs and cats, that get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to be cute. Now, how do you make money off of something like Instagram? What do you guys think? The dogs and the cats. How do the dogs and the cats make money off of Instagram? Well, what they do, obviously, is they have a human owner. And that human takes pretty pictures and cute videos and funny situations. And what that human does is they get sponsored by someone like Petco. Why would Petco sponsor a puppy or a cat? It's because the human has a list. They have a giant group of people. And if that giant group of people is 1 million people that follow XYZ person on this, Instagram, XYZ cat and dog, Petco knows they can sell something and 1% of that 1 million people will buy it. And Petco will pay the human XYZ amount in order to market to their list. Is that cool or what? Any questions so far? If you have any questions, let me know. But the good news is we're almost done. If you guys have any questions, just keep me posted. Obviously, this takes hard work. And obviously, this takes time or money. One of the two. Everything always takes time or money. And I will give you some resources in just a moment, because a lot of you are probably wondering, how do you start this? How do you go about this? Well, as I mentioned, you have to come up with an idea, something that you're very good at, and better if you know a lot about it. And it can be anything. You can use it to your own advantage. You can use it to your age, right? You can use it to your interests. So let's say that you are, later down the road, you become a 21-year-old female who lives in, Michigan, who likes aerospace engineering. And you go, okay, how could I make money off of being 21, female in Michigan, and knowing a lot about aerospace engineering? Well, that person, you have to get a little creative. Right? You do have to get a little creative, and you have to start thinking about, okay, how can you understand that, or what can you do with that? I'm going to give you an example of a new online character, personality that I found not too long ago. Brain specialist talks about alcohol. I didn't spell any of those right, but I'm just kind of doing it quickly. Let's see if I can find young girl, brain specialist talks about alcohol. She also talks about coffee, but I think I can find it. All right, there he goes. Perfect. Look at that. So this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. So we have an attractive, very smart, incredibly well-versed and studied young woman who is working for whatever this company is, or she's working with them. She doesn't have to be working for them. But this company, Inverse, whatever they're called, so what they're doing is they're working on building their list. Notice how they have 7,900 subscribers. So they have 7,900 people that every time they send out a video or an email, that person is likely going to open it up. So this lady is a legit scientist. And in this video, it's a very short 4-minute video, she's explaining what alcohol does to your brain. And she's explaining it in a very professional way, obviously while she's drinking alcohol, and that makes it funny. So what she's doing is she's taking what she knows a lot about, something that she is specialized in, and she is offering value to this company. So this company, I'm assuming, paid her to do this video. That's my assumption. So she got paid money to do what? To be who she already is, but she did it in a way where she was creative and figured out a way to use her knowledge in a way that adds value to people like me who watched that video and thought it was really good. So if you have any questions at any point in time, let me know. But as I mentioned earlier, value can be just about anything as long as it's done well, it's consistent, and it's focused. It's very, very easy to do something for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but you have to continue. Because of what will happen initially is you're going to get a lot of support from your friends, your family, right? Everyone's going to be really excited in your project. People are going to love what you're doing. They're going to love the content that you're putting out. Maybe you're singing. Maybe you're making slime shop. Maybe you are doing magic tricks. Maybe you are riding a bicycle or skateboarding or whatever. And at some point, it's going to slowly taper off and start trading sideways. And this is when you have to go work, right? Time or money. You can use money and go get more people to watch your videos, or you just put in the time, create good content, get creative, put it in the right spots. And the more creative you are, the harder you work, and the more original your idea, the faster that will, again, start to increase. So what's fantastic, folks, is that is the magic number, 10,000. So what you want to do as you're building your list and as you're on social media is you want to remember that literally everything you put on the internet will be there forever. So if you are younger, if you're 10 or 11, you might not have aspirations to be a business owner or a husband or wife or a pastor or a doctor or the president or the mayor or whatever. But if you are, 10, 20 years from now, they're going to easily have the ability to go back and look at every single video, text message, post that you ever made. So you want to represent yourself in a very specific professional way, or if your focus is the exact opposite of that, that's fine, right? There are comedians out there, and there are journalists, and there are people who make a living just saying whatever comes to their mind, regardless of if it's right or wrong, or if it's moral or immoral, or if it's professional or unprofessional. There are people out there, and if that's your niche, if that's what you want to attack, that's fine. There's ways to get around that. There's ways to do that. It's a lot harder, but you're going to have to live with those decisions at some point when you get down the line, or you're going to have to change your brand, or there's going to be something that's going to have to change. But if you want to learn more about kind of what I discussed tonight, here's 3 books about it. So if you are all kind of wondering what I do on social media, not only do I teach people about the stock market and teach people about how they can safely and properly invest in it, I realized at a young age that I have a specific skill, and that skill is ideas. I'm really good at ideas. I can come up with ideas for anything, anytime, on the spot. So what I've started doing over time is I offer my value to other people, and I get paid to offer ideas. That's how I make my living. One of the ways I make my living is I simply get paid to help people generate ideas. So I have read all 3 of these books. They're very good. I love Jeff Walker. This book is literally talking about how to create a product of some kind and sell it online. Digital Leader, my girlfriend made me read this book as soon as I met her because she said, hey, you're going to be a digital leader one day, you need to read this book. And then Tribes by Seth Godin is exactly kind of what I'm describing in this exact webinar is tribes. People, we need leaders. And that leader can be anything, right? It can be someone who is dog friendly. It can be someone who has a lot of snakes. It can be someone who mows the lawn. It doesn't matter. People are attracted to somebody who has spent a lot of time and a lot of energy learning a lot about one subject. And again, it doesn't matter what that subject is. That subject could be vocal cords, right? A speech pathologist. I've worked with a speech pathologist before because I used to stutter really bad. I used to have a speech impediment. So I worked with a speech pathologist and was able to overcome 98% of my verbal inaccuracies. And so, I mean, again, there are people that specialize in anything, whatever you want, but that's what a tribe is. It's someone who directs, helps, and leads people from all around the world about a very specific niche idea or product. Matthew and Sophia says, can the internet lead to sports? Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I mean, you could do, there are, the best example I can think of right off the top of my head is Patrick Stewart. I don't know if that's the right guy, but Patrick Stewart, you have, I'm trying to think, one other guy, Scott Van Pelt. There's one other dude, Scott Van Pelt. So both of those gentlemen have made their living doing two things. Speaking about sports. Speaking about sports. So you can make tons of money on the internet and become independently wealthy having a radio talk show about sports. Absolutely. You can have a living and get paid having only one sports team that you follow and know everything about and become a very avid social Justice League warrior on whatever that sport team is that you're following. If it's Manchester United, or if it's Manchester City, or Chicago Bulls, or the New York Yankees, or a team from the WNBA, or the NCAA, the Gator college football, go Gators, can be anybody. So it literally doesn't matter, but yeah, that's a great question. You can absolutely focus on any particular thing that you're very good at. It just takes time and a little bit of creativity. Linda, any other questions? Victor, Lee, Abigail, and Nate, or Justin, Ted, Nor? If you guys have any other questions, let me know. But I appreciate you being here. That's really the majority of my content. I wanted to make it under 45 minutes because I know you all have a lot of things to do to get ready for the big weekend. The U.S. markets are closed tomorrow, and this is Easter weekend. So if you're watching this on the YouTube, that's going to be a spectacular place to go. Lee says, do you earn your money off of the stock market? Is that how you earn your living? Yes, that's the majority way of how I earn my living is through the stock market. And what I realized early on was that a lot of people don't know what the stock market is and they don't know how it works. And what I did is I created a company that teaches people how to do that. So I have a program just for children called Real Life Trading /kids. You can go there at any time if you have children or, again, young adults. It doesn't matter how old they are. It kind of matters. If they're 3, they're probably not going to learn much about the stock trading mechanism of this. But you can go to Real Life Trading /kids at any point in time. And I do have a lot of good videos here that are entirely for free. First class, what is the stock market? What is investing? How much are you worth? What is discipline? Mattel versus Hasbro, seedlings to sunflowers, how to get what you want. And I'll be adding this class soon to this list of, again, just stock videos directed towards those who are just a little bit younger. Linda says, how much do you sell your ideas for? That's a very good question. It depends on the idea and depends on the business. I do a lot of business consulting as well, and it depends on what they're structured like. So I usually custom create every package that I work with my clients. So if you want to reach out to me, Linda, email me, let me know, and I'd be happy to chat with you about that. But yep, that's folks from around the world. Thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and I hope you learned a lot from today's and tonight's program. I do, and I will assure you, this stuff absolutely can work. And regarding it taking time, everything takes time, right? It's either time or money. So you get to decide which one you want to commit your time or money to. Go that direction. Try it for a little while. You either like it or you don't. But this is an incredible path, an amazing opportunity, and a great journey for you guys to go get started on. So check out those 3 books. If you ever have any questions at any time, please email me. Jeremy at Real Life Trading is my email. I have a few others, but that's the easiest one to get to me. Carolyn says, Jeremy, great class for kids. Want my grandchildren to watch this. Carolyn, thank you so much for being here. Means the world to me. Tell Rick I said, hey, traders from around the world, you are amazing. Folks from around the world, kids, adults, whoever's watching this, wherever you're watching this in the world, I appreciate your time so much. Enjoy, go enrich lives, go add value, and change the world for the better. See you later.